Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm here to give you a little overview of our January budget now that I've filled in some figures. A few things have changed and I just want to talk about that with you as well. So over here in our fixed expenses category, there are a couple of things that have come out that we're not doing anymore. So our specialised pet insurance for our snake and our cat, we're not using them anymore. Honestly, I'm not sure we needed them and I've decided just to stop paying them and we're gonna see what happens. We've kept the pet insurance for the dogs because that we definitely have used. Also, there's no longer a gym payment. I no longer attend the gym. It's just proving too difficult to fit in with Ben not going to school and things, so that's come out. Also, I've added an unbudgeted line. I haven't budgeted anything for it, but I want to be able to track what actual unbudgeted spend we have. We overspent in December by quite a substantial amount, and I want to be able to track that better. In our variable expenses, so our eating out budget has gone up. It was £100 last month. We overspent in eating out last month, and I feel like this is a more reasonable figure. I think over the next couple of months I will try and bring that down again, but this is just how it's going to work for January. We have also changed a bit here. So I have a miscellaneous category, a kids and a buffer. So the reason I added these in is something to do with later on. So miscellaneous, I'm going to try not to use it, but it's there in case I run out in my household or my pet food or my groceries or anything like that. That's just there for sort of an emergency one. The kids, they each have their own envelope and we normally just put in every so often, so that's just us adding a little bit in. It's things like if they get money for their birthday or Christmas and stuff like that. So we just added this in because while they did get money for Christmas, it wasn't a huge amount and I know that they like to go and spend after Christmas, so that's fine. Buffer is staying in our account and it is literally what it says it is. If some of our bills are higher than normal, I wanted to have a buffer just before I covered it all. Our sinking funds, we've actually been able to put some into holidays this month. I've also increased back to school and Christmas. We overspent on Christmas in December. That's how we went over budget, was Christmas and eating out mainly. So I want to increase our sinking fund for Christmas next year so we're more prepared. We're actually halfway to the target goal already, so I think I'm just going to keep adding in 100 and see how that goes. Now the biggest change for us is in our debt expenses. I don't normally share all of these, and previously we had a list like 7 different debts. We have made the decision to consolidate all bar one into one personal loan. I know this is not Dave Ramsey inspired, this is not, lots of people don't agree with it, but for us, the 6 or 7 debts that we had, the interest rates were phenomenally high. We're talking like 26-27%. Things like PayPal, credit, which huge interest rate. And so by consolidating it all into a loan, we got a 6% interest rate. I'm also better when I have a set amount every month that I have to pay. Now, this month you'll notice it's 0. So we got the loan in December, but we don't start paying till March. That was part of the loan agreement. So for January and February, we don't have this payment, which is why our debt payment's so low. I was going to start paying the loan anyway, but I decided I would like to increase some of our sinking funds and some of these categories and try and get those boosted up until it was time to start paying that loan. So that is the changes in our budget for this month. There are increases in some of these categories, a decrease here, but that will come into effect in March. So our March budget is going to be quite different from this one. I may share our debt tracker and things like that at some point, but for right now I'm not ready to share that. Those real figures, they're high. They're not as high as some people, but they're not as low as some people, and they're higher than I would like them to be. But this was by far the best option financially for us as a family, and for January and February I'm trying not to just look at it as woohoo, we've got free money. I'm trying to increase buffers. I gave that to my children because I wanted to give them something, and the buffer, which I'm going to try not to spend so that it can roll over to next month, same with miscellaneous. But increasing our sinking funds means a lot. Our loan payment actually as well is going to make our debt payment every month smaller. So I'm going to increase sinking funds because that helps stop us get into more debt. So while debt snowball is a great idea, we don't have a huge amount of extra income and I'm not going to be putting that towards debt. I am going to make extra payments every so often when we get extra income, but for the most part it's going to be the fixed amount every month. That seems to work better for us. So that is the changes that I have made to our budget in January. My setup is all finished as well, so I'll just flick you through and show you our setup. So on this page here, I have put these important things that are happening. So I think Posey's ballet bill will be due, but I don't know how much it's going to be. And then play scheme, we have 3 play schemes this week, so I needed to make sure there was at least, this month, sorry, I need to make sure there was at least £30 in the kids' activities budget, which there is. Somebody suggested this on another video when I was talking about my box of shame with stickers and how I'm going to shop my stash. So it was track what I could spend on planner stuff. So I have decided to write down when I wanted to buy something and how much it would have cost. And then I am going to put it into here. That's what I'm going to use these pages for. So I'm going to put in an amount and at the end of the month tally it up, and I'm going to see how much I would have spent on planner stuff. And I have a little power word I've put: earn through consistency. Etsy, YouTube, I want to earn through my consistent posting. January, my monthly, I've only put in my paydays so far. I don't think I'm going to put regular bills in. It took up too much room in the last one. I might just track them at the side here. Then the next page, I have things that I have to do, and I have a trackers here. So check accounts, which I do every day, but I'm going to track that, and planner no spend. So while I use no spend stickers in here when there's no spends from the categories that I track, I'm going to track here when I don't make any purchases for myself on planner stuff, or even for my business on planner stuff. Then I have my January goals. So here we have spend £120 or less per week on groceries. At present we're at 150, so I'm trying to bring that down. Sell all my planner de-stash. I've got a lot of stuff just sitting waiting to be sold. Business transactions end the month in the black. Then I've got my budget. So we've got income here and fixed expenses and variables, sinking funds and debt. Then I have my debt tracker up the top here, which I've covered up as well. I might share actual figures with you one day, but for today I can't. Then I have transactions. We already have a transaction. So today's the 27th of December and I closed out December's budget already and we've moved on to January's. I know I'm like almost a week early, but we'd overspent. We were ready to move on. I know that it's going to be an extra couple of days on this budget, but we needed to move on for sure. So there's no harm in closing out your budget early. You just have to remember that that means January's money has to last a little bit longer, which I do tend to move into the next month's budget, a couple of days early anyway. I'm just doing it a couple of extra days early. So we've already had a transaction, which is for Greg for his game. Then we have our singing funds over here, which I already closed out. So I have our starting figures and the amounts that we're adding to them, and then any transactions that come out. I have my weekly check-in pages set up, ready to go. I have my bonus income, so if I expect anything from anywhere, I put it in the budget and what I'm going to spend it on, and then I put the actual in over here. And then my business transactions. Then I have my cash breakdown and my cash breakdown card. This page at the end of the month, I am actually going to use this for reflection. I'm going to make notes on things that worked, things that didn't, if there's anything that I want to do differently for February, etc. So that is how I've set up my January budget and the changes that I spoke about. I will leave links down below to everything. The kit is going to be in my shop at the beginning of January, this new kit, which I love, by the way. If anybody has any questions, please ask them down below, or you can find me on Instagram. I'll put my Instagram name just here. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Bye.